Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Sana and today we will be comparing two survival story. So at first imagine being stranded on a deserted island where there's no help at all. That's exactly how both stories began, but what follows was completely different. So to really understand why both stories developed in a different way, we need to go back to the 18th century. At this time, exploration and travel were really common, and many Europeans believed it was natural to discover new lands and even take control over them. This way of thinking is called the imperialistic approach, where lands, resources, and even people were seen as things that could be owned or even controlled. We can see this clearly in Robinson Crusoe, where survival is connected to ownership or even control. On the other hand, the Swiss family Robinson, Flone of the mysterious island, they represented the survival in a different ways, focusing more on cooperation, family support, and responsibility and shared responsibility. So even both stories began with the same situation, a shipwreck and live on deserted island. They share many similarities in the process of survival, but also showing the differences in values and perspective. Throughout this presentation, we're gonna explore similarities and differences between both stories and how each one presents a unique view of survival.
Hi, I am Hazem Hani, and I will discuss the similarities. Two castaways, one is the 1719 Robinson Crusoe, and one is the 1981 Swiss Family Robinson, flown off the mysterious island. Both survival stories, yet following their respective plot lines. Both are shipwrecked on an uninhabited island, acquiring shelter, taming animals, and fighting nature. Both protagonists are quite resourceful. Crusoe makes pottery and teaches Friday. Flone's dad makes a semi-functional boat in only one day and a treehouse. So, to be fair, the animated series had some sort of creativity. Also, the Friday parallel. Crusoe rescues Friday and makes him some sort of an associate. Anna's family rescues a native girl named Anna as an equal. In both stories, an outsider helps the castaways socialize and become more human. Both works discuss relatively complex topics to their respective audiences, like survival, resourcefulness, and what it means to be human when society is stripped away. Yet neither simplifies their themes. Crusoe discusses individualism, slavery, sin, repentance, and the morality of ownership to the 18th century audience. Flone discusses adoption, death, colonialism, belonging, and whether civilizing others is right to children.
To begin with, a sudden storm wrecks the ships right at the start of both works, leaving the characters stranded alone on a deserted island, cut off from any form of civilization with no help anywhere, which creates a hurdle to overcome. This event acts as a starting point for their journey. Each one focuses on acquiring what they can from the ship before it is destroyed, with time being their greatest enemy. Another key common element between them is the construction of a secure shelter. As Crusoe builds a fortified cave, the Robinson family creates a treehouse. In each case, they prioritize safety, whether it's from animals or unknown threats. In addition, both narratives show the transition from simple survival to cultivation and animal domestication, as the characters learn how to grow crops and tame animals, which allows them to create a more stable and sustainable life on the island. Both works also feature psychological fear of the unknown. As a footprint unsettles Crusoe deeply, the Robinson family constantly fear the possibility of other inhabitants on the island. The apprehension and tension come from the eerie silence and absence. Even though without visible threats, it's the imagination that fuels the anxiety. Ultimately, the protagonists of each story aim at leaving the island by building a boat, showing that the human desire to return to civilization. Even though there are differences in tone and characters, both works follow a similar survival structure that demonstrate human survival and human adaptation and the struggle against nature.
Hello, this is Moaz Ahmed. I'll be discussing the most significant differences between the two works. To begin, there is a clear contrast between family life and isolation. In the novel, Robinson Crusoe spends 24 years completely alone, facing deep psychological isolation, and also struggling to maintain insanity. In contrast, the anime presents family settings where survival depends on cooperation, shared responsibility, and emotional support. Another key difference lies in the portrayal of the main character. In novel, Crusoe is serious, reflective, and often burdened by guilt. On the other hand, the anime is told through Flone, a lively and optimistic young girl, which creates a lighter and more adventurous tone. There is also a notable difference in the treatment of the companions. In the novel, Friday is placed as a subordinate role and is expected to serve and obey Crusoe, whereas in the anime, relationships are built on equality as the characters from the cooperation community in which everyone contributes. Thank you.
Hello, this is Hazem, and I will continue by highlighting further differences. One major distinction is the nature of danger and conflict. In the novel, threats are primarily human and often violent, including encounters with cannibals and armed confrontations. In contrast, the anime emphasizes environmental challenges such as wild animals and natural disasters, making it more suitable for younger audience. Another important difference is the focus on religion versus science. In the novel, Crusoe interprets events through a religious lens, viewing them as signs of divine will. By contrast, the anime adopts a more scientific approach, highlighting practical knowledge and survival skills. Finally, the two works differ in their endings and sense of reward. In the novel, Crusoe returns to society and achieves financial success. However, in the anime, the true reward lies in survival, family unity, and the opportunity to begin a new life together. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Ala Shaban and I'm going to conclude what my classmates said before. To wrap up, while 3 centuries and different storytelling medium separate Danielle Defoe, Robinson Crusoe and the anime Flone on the Mysteries Island, both work serve as profound mirror to the human condition. As we have seen, the commonalities lie in the fundamental mechanic of survival, the shipwork, the taming of the wild, and the determined drive to rebuild a civilization from scratch. Whether it is Crusoe's fortified cave or Robinson's family ingenious treehouse, the message remains the same. Humans are inherently resourceful when pushed to the limit. However, the divergences reveal the evolution of our values. We move from Crusoe's world of individualism, religious repentance, and hierarchy to the Flone's familial cooperation, scientific curiosity, and equality. While Crusoe finds his salvation in dominant, Flone's family find their in unity and shared humanity. Ultimately, whether facing the psychological dread of a single footprint or the environmental hazards of Mysteries Island, both narratives prove that survival is never just about finding food or shelter. It's about the resilience of the spirit and the enduring struggle to remain human when the comforts of the society are stripped away.